Now, there are situations whereby you may want to execute certain functions or certain tasks based on certain conditions. All right. So we say conditional statements. All right. Or let's say conditional commands, whichever one. So conditional statements. So this is whereby you execute a function. Or let's say you execute a task. Let me put it that way. Where you execute a task based on certain conditions. Now let's look at this situation. Okay, let's say DNA seq. Let's put it this way. This is a character, right? Now, let's say you have a criteria that this DNA this sequence here, if the length is greater than, let's say, 6, you want to classify it as a long sequence. If it's less than 6, then it's short. Okay, so let's do this. Let's have these two situations. There's another one. Let's say if the length is greater than 6, is termed long, then for a conditional statement in R, that's how we do it. Here's an example. So we use the if statement, and then the condition, okay, comes in brackets like this, right? So here in my brackets, I want to check if the length, okay, is greater than 6 or less than 6. So then I can just say nk DNA seq like this. Okay. As a beginners, this also, we can make it very, very simple first. So what I can do is I can just say seq length. I'll do it this way first. So I'll say seq length is equals to nk DNA seq 1. Okay. So I want to find the length first. Okay. So DNA seq 1 is not there because we need to define it properly. So I'll do it again. Perfect, now it's done. This is done. So what I want to do is that I want to check if the length of this sequence is greater than 6. And if it's greater than 6, I want to display the statement a long sequence. And if it's less than 6 or equals to 6, then I want to say it's a short sequence. Then we now do this. So I will say if, and I bring my condition in this bracket. Now I will say seq length is greater than 6 by this. Okay, so please take note of this. If seq length is greater than 6 by this. Let me just close the spaces here. So if we have it like this, we need to bring a curly bracket. Okay, I'll bring this in the next line. So what it means is that if this condition is true, then something should happen here. That is where the curly brackets comes in. So in between the curly brackets, we put what should happen. And so what should happen is that we want to print long sequence. That is if the length is greater than 6. Okay, so let's execute the statement. Now we have our seq length. So let's run it. Perfect. Now it says what? It's greater than 6. Now if we check the seq length, print seq length. If we print it here, it's 7. So that means this statement holds. Okay. Now again, this very one here, if we are to execute it separately here, notice something here. It gives us a logical value, which is true. In other words, if this statement is true, then we should have this happening. Right. Now, it's not just about true. You can add another thing. So that means that if it's true, this should happen. Else, something else should also happen. So here, let's make a copy of this. Let's put it here, and let's add something else to it. So here it says, if the condition is true, this should happen. So if it's not true, then we can say else. And this else to bring a curly brackets like this. Right. So we can have it like this. Right. So in we put in our statements. So we can say what? Let's say print short sequence. Right. Now when we execute this, it's still long sequence because the seq length greater than 6. Now let's say the seq length we are assigned this to ncar of bioinformatics2. Okay, like this. Now seq length, if you print it, if you print seq length is 3. So now if I execute this script or this group of puts, it gives me short sequence because now it's no longer greater than 6. It's less than 6 or less than or equals to 6. So it's a short sequence. So this is for the if statement, or let's say conditional statement. Again, for conditional statement, there's a detailed tutorial on that. So for those who wants to, you can check that one out. All right. So this is just an intro. So what I want to do is to just pay attention here and then look at the explanations for this and then try to reproduce them. Okay. So there's a simple statement. All right.